Okay, now we are going to talk about examples G and H. They are just slightly different. So I want you to notice that we are talking about this little triangle right here. That's our first triangle. And our second triangle is this big triangle outlined in green. So if I were to find the longest side here, I would do 55 plus 99 to give me that the longest side of this is 154. So of my big triangle, I've got one side that's 154, I've got one side that's 112, and I've got this question mark. And what I'm going to do is I don't know this length right here, so I'm going to call this length X. And then I'm going to call my question mark X plus 54. So that when I go ahead and find my answer, we're going to go ahead and, actually, no, let's do this different. Let's call this X. All right, and then this length right here, this whole length is the whole piece minus the piece I know, which is 54. So we're going to call this little piece X minus 54 in there. So what we're going to end up doing is setting up our proportion like this. So we can do it two ways. I'm going to use this little triangle of this 55, which matches with the 154 on that side. And then I'm going to do X minus 54 and X. So I end up with, I'm going to cross multiply this times this. And I have 154 times X minus 54 is equal to 55X. And then we're going to get 154X minus, do some calculations in my calculator. Negative 8,316 is equal to 55X. I need to make this be on the other side, so let's minus 154X to both sides. So we get negative 8,316 is equal to negative 99X. And then I'm going to divide by negative 99. And we get that X is equal to 54. Now, if you look on the notes, I have done it slightly different, and I end up with X is equal to 30, but I actually didn't solve that all the way because I forgot to add this 54 piece. And 30 plus 54 is where we get our real this one. So this wasn't quite right. And we're finding all kinds of mistakes today, but that's okay. We're learning together. All right, lastly, let's do this one. Okay, so this one's kind of tricky. I have some holes. I have this one, but that's not going to give me a triangle, so I don't need to figure out what that one is. But I do need to know what that one is. So what I'm going to do is 8x minus 13, that's the whole amount, minus this little bit, so minus 13, okay? And when I solve that, I end up with 8x minus 26. So in this part is 8x minus 26. So when I set up these proportions, I'm going to have 78, the small side right here, over 91, the long side right here, is equal to the short side right here, because I'm doing both short sides on the top. Make sure that the short has to go either all on the top or all on the bottom. And then on the bottom is this whole length, which is x minus 13. Okay, we've got some math to do, guys. So 78x times 8x minus 13, there's our cross multiply, is equal to 91 times 8x minus 26, and we're going to distribute those big numbers. We're going to get some big numbers, but guys, we have calculators. If you don't have one, go grab one. Then I end up with 624x minus 1,014 is equal to 728x minus 2,366. First, I'm going to add this 1,014. And I get 624x equals 728x minus 1352. Then I'm going to get the x's on the same side by subtracting 728x, which gives me negative 104x is equal to negative 1352. I'm going to divide by negative 104. And I end up with x is equal to 13 with all those big numbers. Who would have thought we got so small? So that's great. All right, now we're going to learn a new vocabulary. This is the mid-segment and midpoint theorem. It's been a long lesson, but you guys are almost done. You're doing great. Okay, this is what the mid-segment and midpoint theorem says. The segment joining, oh, that's not joining, joining the midpoints. Just going to kind of write on top of my triangle right here, of the two sides of a triangle is parallel to, and here's our big part. This is the part we want. 1/2 the length of the third side. Go ahead and pause the video and make sure you have that all written down before you go into the explanation part of it. So this is what that is saying. If I have a midpoint at H and I have a midpoint at I, that means that this third side of 10, this mid-segment, that's what this part is called, is half of that third side. And half of 10 is 5. So if C is the midpoint between X and Y, and D is the midpoint between Y and Z, this mid-segment is going to be half this third side we didn't say. So that is 8. All right, well now we have a U is the middle of E and F. V is the middle of G and F. So this little mid-segment is half. So if this is half and I want to know what the whole thing is, I multiply it by 2. 9 times 2 is 18. So basically what we're going to do is take the middle or the smaller side and multiply it by 2, and it is equal to the longer side. So in example D, we're going to do x plus 17, that's our small side, and we're going to multiply it by 2, is equal to our larger side. So we have this one times this, and this times this. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 17 is 34, equals x plus 27. I'm going to minus x on both sides. I get x plus 34 equals 27. And I'm going to minus 34 on both sides and get x is equal to -7. All right, the process, I'm going to set up the next one for you. This is our smaller one. It's our middle one, so he gets timed by 2. So 2 times 2x minus 14 is equal to x plus 8. Then you would distribute here. So 2 times 2 is 4x. 2 times -14 is -28 is equal to x plus 8. And we can minus x and minus x. So we get 3x minus 28 equals 8. We're going to add 28 to both sides. We end up with 3x is equal to 36. Divide by 3, and we get x equals 12. Good job, guys. You can go ahead and Do F on your own and check the answer to that on the notes key. That one is correct. If you have any questions, go ahead and email me and I'm happy to help you out. Hope that you have a great day.